All right, good morning AP Lang kids. We are one day away from our AP exam. I'm really proud of you for being able to handle this transition with such poise, most of you. The rest of you, if you haven't, you feel like you've been floundering this time, now is the time to pick it up. It is not too late to earn that college credit. Remember, even if your grade doesn't look all that great right now, you can still earn college credit by performing well in this exam. So let's do the best we can on it. All right, remember that you are writing a question 2. It's a rhetorical analysis. So you want to look at your handout on the thesis statements and focus on the rhetorical analysis thesis. I've tried to give you really good feedback on the thesis that you provided for your 100-point essay that you turned in as of the latest May 4th. And I think I have 5 left that I'm going to grade. Please look at that feedback. All right, so as far as thesis statements, though, I've seen a lot of improvement in that department. I've also seen improvement where kids are providing more text. You're really analyzing more of the text, which may have to do with the fact that it wasn't a timed essay. So please keep that in mind, that you will only have 45 minutes to write, and then you'll have 5 minutes to upload your essay. So do practice that time constraint. College Board has provided you with a lot of practices. I've provided practice prompts. I cannot emphasize the importance of practicing beforehand. Additionally, even practicing the uploading process. I know Dominic had some issues because he really wanted to handwrite his essay. So he handwrote it, took pictures of them, but his pictures were, one of them was kind of blurry, one of them cut off the number. So he's concerned that his submission might be invalidated. We don't know. We won't know till July. So to prevent that kind of angst, please make sure you practice. If you're handwriting, practice taking your pictures. They have to include your ID number. They can't, you want to try to, they need to be vertical. They shouldn't be blurry. You want to make sure that you have quality pictures. I would practice uploading them into an email and sending them to somebody. Just practice that process, even if you take a picture of a blank piece of paper. Really important that you do that. Same thing with the kids with those of you who are typing, whether if you're copying, pasting, or if you're uploading. Just practice doing it beforehand. You only have 5 minutes, and oftentimes what's happening is that kids are using that 5 minutes to proofread, to make final changes, and then they're down to like 1 minute to upload their materials. So please make sure that you are using your time wisely and practicing ahead of time. All right, the next thing I want to talk to you about are the 2 major issues that I'm seeing with the writing, so we can try to eliminate those. One is when you, the most important thing is the address to the audience. When you are addressing audience, if you're just saying Thoreau writes to convince his audience that, labor should be meaningful. All right, that's what he's writing to convince them, yes, and that's important. But then the other most important thing is to address the impact on the audience. Not just what it is he's trying to convince them of, but what is it that he wants them to feel and to do. So this is where your tone vocabulary list is going to help you again, because not only are you going to address Thoreau's tone of voice and how he's saying something, but you're also going to be addressing the way that he's making his audience feel. If he's giving this hellfire and brimstone kind of sermon to his audience, then he wants to make them feel guilty, or he wants to make them feel fearful, ashamed, wanting to repent. So that was where we get into the action. Well, if I feel ashamed, then what is it that I'm going to do? If I feel remorseful, then what is it I'm going to do? If I feel fearful, what am I going to do? So that's what you've got to spend a couple of sentences at the end of each body paragraph, and even stating it in your thesis, like having it in your introduction. What is it that he wants from his audience? Because otherwise you don't have a rhetorical analysis, really, because a rhetorical analysis is all about impacting an audience. It's what am I going to say to impact my audience? If I'm appealing to their sense of pathos, then it could be that I'm making them feel guilty. If I'm appealing to their sense of ethos, then I'm appealing to their sense of patriotism or duty. So you've got to address that, number 1. Let me know if you want to send me like a couple of sentences to make sure you know how you're doing that. You're welcome to do that. You can send it to me through Remind, you can send it through text, you can send it through email. Please be in touch with me. You can call me, you can read it to me. Now's the time. The other thing is way, when you're integrating text, you're integrating quotes into your responses. Many of you are doing a really good job with that. And then you're even, many of you are doing a really good job of really grasping, like in the case of Thoreau. Thoreau is not easy to read. So you're really doing a great job of kind of interpreting what it is that he's saying, what is it that he wants from his audience, what is it that he's opposed to. You're doing a great job with that, which is sometimes half the battle. But the other thing, don't forget, guys, we spent a lot of time on that diction and syntax handout. There's a reason why we did that. I wouldn't have taught it if it wasn't important. So if you're analyzing, if you're providing text, if you've provided a quote, read not the times or read the eternities. Now it's, what can I say about that quote that that shows its impact? So let's talk about, things like even the anaphoric. The anaphoric structure in this aphorism creates a vehement, commanding tone, which then forces the audience to think, well, what is it that this man wants us to do? He wants us to read the times, not the eternities. Well, why is the T capitalized? Why is the E capitalized? What exactly does each of those capital letters symbolize? And even their antithetical nature, the fact that he's contrasting the times with the eternities. So I should see a sentence, at least a sentence, if not two, following each of your cited pieces of evidence, or if you provide a cluster of them, then spend some time going back and analyzing the actual diction and syntax from the text that you've cited, and then show how that's connecting to what it is that he's opposed to. This demonstrates that he's opposed to people's worship of modern mass media over the Bible. The newspaper, as he says in another piece that he's written, the newspaper is the only Bible which America reads and which America worships. So I mean, he really, is condemning the the sensationalism and also even corruption, what he perceives as the corruption of the media. So those are the two things. Just to summarize, you must address impact on audience, not just what he wants them, what he's trying to convey, but what he wants them to feel and do. Not just what he's trying to convey, but what he wants them to feel and do. Additionally, when you cite your text, great. But now you've got to analyze how this text is being conveyed. This is about how things are being conveyed, not just what is being said. So please work on those two things, and if you want to do some practice with it, even just little mini practices, you can send them to me and I'll try to give you feedback or send them to one of your peers. All right, guys, I'm going to continue probably to post videos today, so if you can take 5-10 minutes of your time and watch them and let me know if you have questions. All right, guys, and I miss you. I miss seeing your faces. I miss hearing your voices. I miss being able to pester you in person. And I'm wishing you well and thinking of you. And I'm not going to be sleeping much. You could probably tell that I didn't sleep much last night. So I'm thinking of you and hoping for the best. Okay, guys, and I'll be in touch. Bye.